You are in for a true treat. The wittiest, most intelligent content creator on YouTube. Always calm and polite. Here is the ineffable Muckster.
And I am here. Hello, people. Didn't change my opening in here, and it's shorter than I'm used to. Anyway, nobody's listening to this yet. But if you do tune into this later, make sure you stay till the end for the Moth story. That's all I'm going to say. So we got us the journal for Friday, August 22, right? 22? Something like that. It'd probably be better if I tried reading without those. Okay. We got us. Oh, first of all, the star of the week this week is going to be Sarah Kronwetter. Obviously a student because she's standing in front of a school wall. We'll see what she's about later. And we got borough business. Rush Township and Ord need land from Phillipsburg Borough. Seeing if I can see it there. They want to designate land near the Phillipsburg Dog Park as a riparian buffer as part of the sewer project. Okay. Roland Theater's finances are pretty bleak. There's a theater down in Phillipsburg. It's been around since around 1804. And it's great because it's still one of those big old theaters with some fancy walls and stuff. And so apparently they're just not getting the business anymore. Let's see. Resident praises Coldstream Trails. Suggest community volunteer day for maintenance. Phillipsburg man says journal stories are so good he had to come to a borough meeting to see it for himself. I remember now, I took a couple of psychology classes in college, and I don't remember a lot of it, but I do know that this guy is what Freud would have called starved for entertainment. Protests this weekend to urge closure of the Shannon Valley processing facility. That's about it. I didn't even realize the one that there's a private prison around here and they're using it for ICE detainment. Boalsburg man can't get into the Shannon Valley processing facility because of artificial knee. Yeah, okay. Borough saves fallen tree from Larry Adams' house. So now will he clean it up? Now, again, this is what I like about the journal. They don't say they saved the tree, the house, from a fallen tree. They saved the tree from his house. Apparently his house was going to attack the tree. We don't know. We're also not interested enough to read the article. Foreman criticizes so-called revitalization of Phillipsburg, wants to halt apartment construction because of parking. Yeah, okay. Down here we have interview with the Shannon Valley Processing Center protesters. Let me see if you can see there's a picture of somebody down there holding the sign. And the sign says, people before profits. And you know that doesn't fly in America. But yeah, they're supposed to have a protest this weekend to get rid of that ice processing place. I hope there's a good turnout for it. So here's a whole big article. It says, Foreman hits Front Street. Councilman Mike Foreman suits up and doubles down. Readers say they spotted him downtown in hard hat and high-vis vest. Denies Phillipsburg is being revitalized, calls it selective storytelling and borderline fake news. Is gathering appalling info for next meeting. But rewind 2 years and Foreman voted to transfer apartment parking lots to Lee Industry, ignoring warnings of parking problems. Okay. And I'm sure he really needed a hard hat and high vis to walk up and down the sidewalk taking pictures of whatever the idiot is doing. Here's now to be fair, I don't know this Mike Foreman, so I'm only assuming he's an idiot. But apparently he's on Phillipsburg Council, so you know there's a good chance. We have a couple of happenings. Elks soccer shoot, ages 7 and under and up to 16. It's open to all youth ages 7 and under and up to 16. Again, you can't beat the writing in this thing. And it's on August 23rd, and the top 3 qualify for districts, whatever it is. We have a community corn boil, West Decatur Methodist Church, August 25 at Boggs Township Park. Corn and hot dogs will be provided. Okay. Got a little bit of a police report here. Unlucky ticket. Felipe Hall, 26, of Phillipsburg, left a $50 lottery voucher in the machine at Snappy's. When he returned, the voucher was gone. An investigation is ongoing. Yeah, I don't know. Does that even really count as theft if you came up there and found the thing? I guess it's technically, but I'm sure the state police will be spending all their time finding somebody who took a $50 ticket. Wreck at O-Town Mini Mart. By the way, the O-Town Mini Mart has some decent food for a convenience store. Kenneth Youngblood, 73, of Osceola, was driving a Chevy Silverado crossing Route 53 over to the Mini Mart when he drove in the path of a 2012 Ford Focus driven by Kristen Lansbury, 20, of Phillipsburg. Lansbury was unable to avoid Youngblood and hit him in the 4 o'clock position. I guess like around the back passenger side door. Spinning him in a clockwise manner. Youngblood was charged with crossing the roadway without clearance. Lansbury was transported to the hospital. And the tow truck was on scene. Then we have a wreck in Ashland. Barbara Baker, 75, of Bunker Hill, West Virginia, was driving with James Baker, 71, also of Bunker Hill, in a Chevy Equinox southbound on Schoolhouse Road in Decatur. She failed to stop or slow at a stop sign and struck a 2019 Ram 2500 driven by Colin Maurer, 30 of Phillipsburg. Maurer's truck went sideways and struck a Chevy Silverado driven by Douglas Twig, 30 of Osceola. Barbara Baker was transported by the ambulance to the hospital. James Baker was not injured. Maurer and Twig were transported for their injuries. Okay. And we've got a bunch of advertisements. We've got continuation of front page stories that are all about Phillipsburg. I think we heard everything we needed on that in the headlines. And we have some obituaries. Frederick Seinfeld, Dr. Frederick W. Seinfeld, born in 1932. We have Alfred Strawbinger, I guess, born in 1938. Joseph G. Good, born in 1955. Let's see. It says Joseph Gary Good. He wouldn't have been that far ahead of me in school. I'm trying to see. Doesn't sound familiar to me, though. Another obituary. James Flood, born in 1960. And we have a thing here about Mounties football. Now I'll show you a picture here. Now, I gotta tell you, the football team just isn't the same as whenever I was playing down there, and I think, it's obvious why. But let me tell you, here's something here that will tell you an awful lot about why the football team just doesn't. See, there's a team photo. Now, first of all, when I played, we put 11 men on the field at a time. Okay? And they've got, what, 6 there? And secondly, they're wearing shorts, no pads. Of course this team's getting killed. Let's see. We got West Branch football, Mill Valley football, but, we're not interested in them whatsoever. Full page ad. There's a full page ad that says we've moved to Phillipsburg. Their Huxdale office is permanently closed. Boomer He Dentist. Okay. And there's another full page ad for another medical center. And there's a bunch of ads over here. And here, no. Mid-State Airport hosts fly-in breakfast and lunch. Now, regular viewers will know that, again, this is one of those stories that's been in the paper every week for like the last 3 or 4 weeks. Over here, let's take a quick look at the classifieds to see if, let's see, here's one that's sort of interesting. The Bach brothers, William and Henry, are looking to buy back their dad's 1952 Kaiser Manhattan 4-door. Their dad sold and repaired TVs and radios, known as Bach's Radio and TV business. The car was sold in '63, and they have a phone number there if you happen to be in possession of that It was a 1952 Kaiser. Those guys would like it back. And I look at them. Nothing else is jumping out at me. Somebody wants to buy old trains. Okay, now, before I get to the star of the week, let me show you memory lane. And speaking of things that they talk about every week, look, it's a drag line, and another picture down there of a drag line. That's been like every week for 2 months or something, hasn't it? The star of the week is Sarah Kronwetter, and she was named Four Seasons Society Mountaineer of the Year for being involved in the most number of extracurricular activities at the middle school. Okay. Now, I think I told you at the beginning, remember to stick around for the Moth story. We'll get to that as soon as we see what's happening with groceries here down at hometown. You can get Kraft salad dressing 2 for $4. Miracle Whip $3.99. Pepsi 6-packs 3 for $12. Oh, by the way, I didn't mention this week we are sponsored by Dr. Pepper Zero. Hey, I don't think this is zero. Anyway, I usually say all the flavor and none of the calories is regular Dr. Pepper, but this is a regular Dr. Pepper, so I get to have both all of the original flavor and the calories. We got Edmonds Donuts, buy one, get one free. Now, I'll leave you with the Moth story. I don't think I've told it online yet. And hello, Shadow Finkel. So, this moth flies into a psychiatrist's office, comes in, puts in, sits on the cushion on the couch. Psychiatrist looks at it and says, "Hey there, little fella, how you doing?" Moth looks at the psychiatrist and says, "Yeah, I'm okay, doc." Doctor says, "So why don't you tell me a little bit about yourself?" And the moth says, "Hey, now I'm not reading anymore, I can go cool." The moth says, "Well, I'm married to a nice woman moth, and we have 102 healthy eggs. So that's good." Doctor says, "Okay." He says, how do you spend your days?" And the moth says, "Well, my days during the daytime, I mostly sleep. But at night, I just flit around and explore the world, see what's happening." Doctor says, okay. He says, so is there anything bothering you? Moth says, "Not really. My life is good." And the psychiatrist says, "Well, then why did you come in today?" And the moth says, "Your light was on." You're welcome. That's it for this week. We'll see you again. Remember to check out Uriel singing on my channel. And I am out of here. By the way, Finkel is on his second.
And that's the way it is.
Well, that was disappointing.